I would say that nonprofit communications have changed dramatically, and yet at the same time not enough. Um, Organizations are finally kind of seeing the possibilities of using online technology, social media, and different communications channels to supplement their offline communications work and offline strategies. At the same time, I don't think we've gone nearly far enough. I think we all know this if we look at our own nonprofits and the work we're doing, whether it's because of resources being stretched thin or budgetary reasons, or simply not having the staff knowledge or even buy-in from different staff about what social media, online communications can do, that there's a lot further that we can go. Direct mail is not over, nor is email dead. I think direct mail still has a viable place in our communications with our constituents. Social media and online strategy, but social media channels in particular, are simply additional networks or channels in which we can communicate with our constituents and various constituencies based on the way that they want us to communicate with them. And so direct mail still has a response rate. It still has a response rate that at times can be higher, especially when we're talking about fundraising and appeals. But I think what we're going to need to see, and what I would really like to see more of in nonprofits, is more integrated strategies. Not a, do we send an offline letter this time or an email, but how do we send both types of communications, offline, email, social media, to specific audiences and specific channels, and ensuring that they complement one another and support the efforts of one another. How important are analytics to nonprofits? The utmost important. We can't know what we're doing right or know what we're doing wrong if we're not measuring what we're doing. So first and foremost, yes, we have to be measuring things. And I think it's more important to measure things against our own benchmarks instead of measuring them against industry benchmarks. It's wonderful that 15 to 25% of people open an email across the industry average, but what does that say about your emails? And should your email be exactly the same as every other email out there? So yes, analytics. Yes, keeping track of that, and testing and ensuring that we're improving or trying to improve. On top of that, what would I measure? The basic engagement statistics. So of course we're going to measure who's on our lists, how many people are following us, but also measure the engagement opportunities there. So not just how many people visited our website, but how many pages they visited or how many actions they took on our website. Not just how many fans or followers we have on Twitter, but how many people actually engaged with our content and liked it, shared it, commented on it, and what that content was. Social media usage by nonprofits has not peaked. I think we have seen social media usage on certain networks probably peak, and social networks are going to constantly and always will be changing. For instance, I think Facebook has probably peaked out at least about as much as social media or organizations are going to find with engagement opportunities on Facebook. It doesn't mean we should stop using Facebook by any means, but unless they make some major drastic changes, the amount of engagement we're going to get on it has probably about peaked. That said, no. Social media hasn't peaked. There's going to be new networks, new ways of using those networks, and those networks are going to constantly be changing. So I talk a lot about different tactics that nonprofits can take to improve their online engagement opportunities. And I think if I were to focus on a couple myself, I would focus on the user experience on our online websites and communications. That includes both email and web. And I would think about the experiences in which users are leaving us, or leaving every touch point's ending point. That would be after a confirmation, or after a donation page, the confirmation page. After an email sign up, the confirmation page. An email that goes out confirming something they did. And introducing additional touch points that talk about our organization's mission, what our organization is doing, our achievements, or further engagements that can keep constituents engaged online. So think more than a thank you, and add a thank you plus now do this. I think there's a couple things that are actually in this question. So first and foremost, I would say if I had to pick one tool, what would it be? And I would say it would probably be at this point Instagram. And not because Instagram is the end-all be-all of social media or what social media has become, but because I do believe that visual media, both photos and videos, are going to be the future of a lot of our social channels. I think as evidence of this, we can see that Facebook bought Instagram. And they probably wouldn't have done that unless there was a reason that they saw behind that purchase that was going to be a wise investment for them. I think that Instagram, if I had again to pick one tool, is probably the place to look out for. That said, Instagram may not be around tomorrow. It could disappear in a month. However, I do think that more important than what tool is coming around is what is happening online. And that goes back to the visual aspect of media. People don't read online. We skim. We skim our emails, we skim our websites, we barely read every other word, and we tend to be focused on the visual elements of the documents or the content that we're reading. And that goes true for pictures as well. And so I think that we're seeing this in the infographics that are becoming incredibly popular. We're seeing this in the quote images or the images with quotes that people are liking and sharing. And I think we're going to see this more and more with video content in the coming year as well. So I would say focus on visual content, photos, videos, but make sure they accompany a story, a stat, that they're telling a bigger picture, so that they're sharing your mission through those visual images.